Oh, hello. Right, what are we doing now? Mid-year book freakout tag. Well, I should start with a greeting. Hello, BookTube. Well, hello, BookTube. Hello, BookTube. My name is Juan. I am just one reader, your favorite Mexican booktuber who reads in English and is also a madman. Funnily enough, I am a certified psychoanalyst. I am a member of the International Psychoanalytical Association, but when it comes to BookTube and reading, I am just as crazy as anyone else. Because I genuinely believe that the things that make us crazy are the things that make us who we are and interesting people and, people with inner lives. Anyway, I am here to answer the mid-year book freak-out tag, which it feels so strange to realize that it's actually halfway through the year and we need to answer this tag. Anyway, let's get started with the mid-year book freak-out tag 2024 edition. Question number 1, what is the best book that you've read so far this year? And it has to be The Word is Murder, book 1 in the Hawthorne and Horowitz series, written, of course, by Anthony Horowitz. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. 5 out of 5 stars. What can I say? The writing is vivid, it's funny, it's incredible. The way that Anthony Horowitz inserts himself as one of the characters in the book, and it becomes this kind of playful narrative storytelling. Everything that he does is vivid and playful and so much fun, and this is just one of those perfect books in my opinion. Go and read The Word is Murder. Question number 2, what is the best sequel that you've read this year? Well, the sequel to The Word is Murder is The Sentence is Death by Anthony Horowitz, book 2 in the same series. Just as delightful, just as playful and inventive, whimsical, and these are great mysteries, but the characters are also what makes this book so amazing. So yeah, I love that sequel. But also, if we're going to talk about sequels, we're going to talk about series, I need to mention books 2 and 3 in the Age of Madness trilogy by Joe Abercrombie. Book number 2 is The Trouble with Peace. Book number 3, The Wisdom of Crowds. I really liked them. I cannot say that I loved them. I think both of these books have flaws, but they are interesting and they are part of a series that as a whole is remarkable, and I really, really loved following these characters in this series. The conclusion of The Wisdom of Crowds I thought was so satisfying and so bleak, and yeah, I really, really enjoyed The Age of Madness. Question number 3, a new release that you haven't read yet but want to. The 5th installment in the Hawthorne and Horowitz series, which is Close to Death. Question number 4, what is the most anticipated release for the second half of the year? I'm gonna go with the new book in the Cormoran Strike series by J.K. Rowling, or Robert Galbraith. I don't know if it's coming out this year or next year. I really, really hope that it comes out soon because I need that book. I don't even remember the title of the book. It's something about the hang something man. I don't remember what it is, but that series, the previous book in that series, book 7, The Running Grave, was so spectacular that I just hope book 8 actually builds up on that. Question 5, what's been your biggest disappointment so far? The Curfew by T.M. Logan was just horrible. This is a bad book. Like, I thought it would be a very engaging, riveting mystery. People had said that this was an unput-downable book, like one of those page turners. It was the opposite. I found this book unbelievably cringy, unbelievably boring, and there's nothing worse than being boring. You can be bad, but boring? Excuse me? No, I will not allow that. So I wanted to tear my eyes out reading this book. And another book that I thought was mildly disappointing was Skippy Dies by Paul Murray, and I really feel bad saying this because I think it's a good book. I think it's an interesting book. I think it does some things really well. Like, for example, some of the writing can be beautiful. Some of the characters are really, really well depicted and made me think and feel a lot. But the book itself as a whole, I think it has many flaws. I think it's a book that was trying too hard all the time. I felt that the author felt very insecure to me, like, oh, this is all I can do. Like, look at me. And it was a little like stop. Question 6, what's been your biggest surprise? The Spear Cuts Through Water by Simon Jimenez. This is one of the most surprising and refreshing books that I've read in recent years. Finally, some good, interesting fantasy. We live in the world of Brandon Sanderson, and that makes me very scared and very sad and depressed sometimes. But then someone like Simon Jimenez comes along and gives us something like this, which is the anti-Brandon Sanderson. This is the relief that I needed. This is the antidote to Brandon Sanderson's poison. I just found it so whimsical, unique. The way that the book plays with storytelling and the world building and the prose is something that I hadn't seen in fantasy in quite some time, and it's a weird book. It's not for everybody, but I would suggest that people give it a try, because even if you don't actually like it, it will broaden your horizon. Question number 7, what is your new favorite author? And I don't really have a favorite author, like really favorite. I would have to go with Anthony Horowitz again, but he's the same answer that I gave for this book tag last year. So he's not really new, but he's just so unbelievably great. He's the only author that I can think of right now that I am actually like wanting to get back to, like I cannot wait to read the next book by Anthony Horowitz. He's the only author so far this past year that has made me feel so excited. Question number 8, what is your new fictional crush? I don't know, I guess I would have to go with Leo Dan Brock from the Age of Madness, but I will also just go with Joe Abercrombie himself, like the man himself. Oh, my God. Oh. Question number 9, what is your newest favorite character? And I am going again with the dynamic duo, the two protagonists from the Hawthorne and Horowitz series. Hawthorne and Horowitz are just this kind of lovely pair in the style of Sherlock and Watson, but not really. And I just love their awkward, interesting banter, their interactions, everything. I just love these characters. Also, I'm going to mention Mary, who is the main character from Mariana by Monica Dickens. This was a book that I really, really, really loved because it's a character study, and you really feel like the author Monica Dickens puts you inside the psyche of this character all the way through. Question number 10, what is a book that made you cry? I don't really cry at books or when reading. It's just not an emotion that is elicited by reading in my experience, but I will mention a book that was very emotionally impactful, something that really resonated with me on multiple levels, Wellness by Nathan Hill. Particularly, I really treasured reading this book now as a psychoanalyst in this day and age where we live in a false positivity cultural moment. And I think it's important to read things like this and make poke fun at the culture that we are living in. So yeah, this didn't make me cry, but it made me like emotionally invested, I guess I would say. Question 11, a book that made you happy. I will go with Mariana by Monica Dickens. It's just such a delightful book. It's whimsical and nostalgic and has a lot of heart, kind of Gilmore Girls vibes without being twee and corny. And also I'm gonna mention Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. This book was so twisted. I loved it. I loved turning the pages. It was so exhilarating. It was so, I don't know, entertaining and enthralling and wicked and evil. And I was there for every page of it. Question 12, your favorite book to film adaptation so far? I think it has to be Dune Part 2. I mean, I've never read Dune by Frank Herbert. I have no interest in reading those books, honestly. But the movie was splendid. Question 13, what is the most beautiful book that you've bought so far this year? I think it has to be Wellness by Nathan Hill. It's such a striking, beautiful graphic design on the cover that it actually drew my eye to the book, and that's why I picked it up in the first place. So yeah, I love the design of the book. I love the edition of the book. All in all, like inside everything, it's so like well thought out. It's a beautiful object, this book. The paper is really high quality and yeah, beautiful object. And finally, last but not least, question 14, what are some books that you need to read before the end of the year? So the book that I am currently reading right now is Boy's Life by Robert McCammon. I am enjoying this immensely. It's like Stephen King vibes, but better, like executed in a much better way. And it's also, for a psychoanalyst, I think it's a great book because it really exemplifies everything that Sigmund Freud was already thinking. It's here. Like you can physically, like visibly see examples of Freud's theory, the Oedipus complex. Everything is in this book. It's a lot of fun. I am also going to continue with the Anthony Horowitz series. So I will be reading The Twist of a Knife, which is book 4. I also want to start this fantasy series by Juliette Marillier. Book 1 is Daughter of the Forest. People have said that if you like Robin Hobb, which, you know, I love Robin Hobb, come on. If you like Robin Hobb, you will love Juliette Marillier. So I'm really excited to finally pick this one up. I also want to read Patti LuPone's memoir. I love Patti LuPone. Yeah, I'm just interested to see what's in her memoir and if it's actually as, I don't know, filled with like bite as I imagine it is. And another book that I want to read is the short story collection Don't Look Now by Daphne du Maurier. I've been sort of disappointed by Daphne du Maurier's novels, but I've never been disappointed by her stories. So I want to read this one, and I love the cover as well. And so those are just some of the books that I want to read in the upcoming months. So there you go. Those are all the questions in the mid-year book freakout tag. Let me know in the comments down below what are some of your favorite or worst books of the year so far. What are you excited about reading this year? Yeah, I think that's it. I'll wrap it up. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.